we were crushing. We were getting 15 leads a day.
If I was going to get a roof from my house, I would most likely go to ChatGPT.
It's either referral or SEO. I mean, the goal was just to do the right thing and do something good for the community.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us today. This is Roofer2Roofer. So we're here to answer your questions about roofing business in general. We got Scott, owner of Rainstoppers Roofing and SDR Consulting, and myself, AJ, CEO and co-founder of ProLine. So we'll jump in today. So we'll go ahead and start with my first question here. What type of metal roofing should my roofing company offer and why?
Yeah.
Or types?
Uh, We just had a little sales meeting with a couple guys about an hour ago about this because um, we're just trying to get step further and further away from corrugated metal, which is in my area, and I think all of Appalachia, it's pretty popular, but it's just not a great option for a home. There's a lot of reasons I could go through them and I have before, but it's not the best option. The warranty's not great. The system itself is just not a real great long lasting system. If you're going to offer metal roofing, there's two really good options. One is standing seam. That's what we try to push. The problem with it comes with price. We just quoted one Friday of last week. Shingle roof, 13,000. Standing seam was 25,000. So it's about double. But in all honesty, you get a roof that's probably going to last twice as long. It's that good, and maybe even longer. I don't. The only way you can really that roof can fail is if it gets a hole poked in it, or a hell of a windstorm rips it off the house. I mean, that's kind of your only option. So, and both of those are going to be insurance claims probably, right? So, not something that the homeowner is going to be responsible for. Um, Corrugated, there's just too many opportunities for leaks with poking holes in it with screws. So
Yeah.
if the other good option though is metal shingles. It's not something we offer. It's just not big in this area. Our installers aren't confident in it, and honestly, we've never put it on. So nobody carries it around here, so it's just not a real popular option. But I do know about it. I do know the system, understand it pretty well, and I do know that it's a really, really good option if you got good installers for it.
Yeah, that makes sense. What you're saying the corrugated just leaks around the where it's screwed in?
So a corrugated roof, we call it ag panel here, and that's what it should be called because that's what it was created for. It was created for
Agriculture.
agricultural use, barns, sheds, that kind of thing, right? So the goal of it is to be an inexpensive, simple. Can you hear that ringing?
A little bit.
Sorry, I'm
It's all good.
Um, yeah, the goal of it is to be an inexpensive, easy to install product. In my opinion, it was created so farmers can DIY an old barn, rip metal off or rip shingles off, and they have a way to throw something up there that's going to get them some longevity out of that barn, things like that, right? Like that's kind of the idea. Um, Putting it on it, but barns are going to be very straight, right? It's usually two slopes, very straight. You've got drip edge, you got ridge, and then you got rake corners, like very simple. When you get into a house and you've got valleys, you've got end wall flashing, you got sidewall flashing, um, chimney, you got all these different factors, and you have those same factors no matter what system you're putting on. But with that particular panel, you just run into other issues. Like for instance, um, we ran into it multiple times where it's like a Cape Cod style house, right? Like the front porch comes down, but then there's a wall above it, and the wall above it has a couple windows. Well, those windows a lot of times sit almost right on that porch roof below. Well, you can't put your sidewall flashing up that, or I'm sorry, your end wall flashing up that wall because there's a window in the roof. So to trim that out and flash that in properly is it's really almost impossible in some circumstances, not always, but in some. Then you get into other things such as wood siding or hardy cement siding, where you've got to cut that siding to even get a flashing in there, and you're replacing some sort of trim piece to clean that up and make it look good. There's just a lot of factors that make it difficult to use. But the biggest downfall is the screws. An
Yeah.
average roof, you're putting, let's just say, 2 to 4 thousand screws in it. I
Yeah.
mean, that's 2 to 4 thousand potential leak points, literally. All
Yeah.
that's going to happen is the screw back out enough that the washer is not compressed against the panel anymore, or the washer deteriorates, breaks, and now it is open to the weather. So at any point, if that happens, that is a leak point. Metal shrinks and expands with the heat, heating and cooling, it moves. I was at a campground actually looking at a building, and it was like a 10-year-old metal roof. I was looking at this thing, and some of those screws were backed out literally 3/4 of an inch. It was like
Wow.
10 years old, and they're all over it, just backed out. There's nothing, the installers didn't do it wrong. It's just
This is what
that's the
happens.
nature of the beast. And on an old barn on the farm back out on the back 40, not a big deal. The farmer can jump up there with his screw gun, tighten them back up every 10 years, not a big deal. But for a homeowner, most homeowners expect longer life than that without maintaining their roof. Shingles, there's really, especially today with all the algae resistant stuff that they put in the granules, there's really almost no maintenance required. And you should be able to get 25 to 35 years out of a good shingle roof without doing anything. So
Right.
uh, that's kind of where we stand on it. The warranties with metals also almost non-existent. The only thing they cover is the paint. So for fade and delamination of the paint. So like, doesn't matter if the panel doesn't perform, as long as the coating that's on it performs, that's all they care about.
Yeah.
So it's just not a great warranty.
Yeah. No, it makes a lot of sense. It's almost like it's not even expected to really be completely waterproof for any measurable amount of time.
Uh, yeah,
It's like use cases. It's the use cases where it shouldn't really matter too much. Like if a little water gets in the barn, who cares?
exactly. Well, and I mean, it sweats like crazy. Like, so you got to take, in a barn, I don't really care if they get a drip here and there from a little bit of sweat. Well, for us, we have to obviously waterproof that sweat. That thing is making moisture under the roof system every single day.
Yeah.
You're dependent on the felt to make sure this thing doesn't leak, right?
Yeah.
It's just not a great system.
Right. Makes sense. Makes sense. Cool. All right. Well, thanks guys. Or thanks Scott for that. And for everybody that's just joined, we are going through and answering questions. We're here to answer y'all's questions about anything regarding the roofing business. So, um, we're going through our questions right now that we already have queued up, but we'd love to answer y'all's questions instead if you have them. So please don't hesitate to put those into the chat or into the Q&A. All right, well, we're going to move on here from materials to marketing. Um, what do you think, Scott? Are Facebook ads worth it for roofing companies?
You know the answer to that. I don't think so. Um, I don't like them. I know some people like them. I believe, and it depends on, who we're talking to here, like who the listener is, right? But I think all listeners could benefit more from like boosting posts, targeting a boosted post around a job site. I think that could be much more efficient way to spend your money than just an ad campaign in a 25-mile radius or whatever you're using. I think brand awareness campaigns are not a bad thing, but if you're like looking to book appointments on social media, I think just boosting an organic post around a 1 mile radius around daily job sites with $20 is a much more efficient way to spend your money. We were spending,
With the job site photo or like a drone video?
sure, yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah, and because you were just there, right? You did that job yesterday.
Uh,
So today we can throw that post up, boost it for 3 days or a week or whatever for $20 and just hit those neighbors right there. Hopefully we've canvassed through some door hangers out. We got the yard sign in the yard. We got truck in the driveway during the install. Another truck in the driveway today during the final walk, the closeout. Those things are all happening. We've got some brand awareness going on in the neighborhood anyway. Now we jump up and we pop up on their social channel where maybe they weren't following us already, and they're like, shoot, that was that guy that's roofing so and so's house down the street. He's on my Facebook now. Okay, now maybe he has that opportunity to click that call now button or the message button, whatever button you put on that boosted post. So I will say this, I am not the best at it. We have not found the organization in our team to really dial that piece in. Sometime we
That
will.
consistently. Yeah.
We're not needing it right now, so we're not really focusing on it. We're doing well enough without it. But when we decide to ramp back up on that, that is a place I'm definitely going to work a lot harder at.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I like that answer because it's like if by Facebook ads you mean switch on some ad that you pulled off of Canva and then expect the leads to start rolling in, probably not. Maybe in some really big markets, but it's probably not going to be a good use of your money. But like what you're talking about, very strategic. It takes some extra work, but it's very strategic and you're very focused. That that's an excellent approach. Um, there are also, I think that Facebook ads, if you're in a larger market and you have the extra budget, it's just, I feel like there's better ways to use it, but you can use it to sort of build brand awareness. So you can approach it from that angle of like, we're going to push this out, this value driven thing out to the community, and we're going to use Facebook ads as the way to distribute it. But for lead generation directly,
Well, and that's I mentioned that if you're gonna, because a brand awareness campaign is significantly cheaper.
yeah,
The lead gen campaigns, I mean, we were paying like $160 a click and converting 5%. So an appointment's costing us well over $1,000, like 2 grand. You know what I mean, or something. I don't even know the math right offhand. A lot. It's just not worth it. We've tried it multiple times. It's never worked for us. But like you say, the brand awareness, it comes at a way less expense, and it promotes your business. Doesn't give them a button to click or anything like that, but it's just you showing up in their news feed randomly kind of helps.
yeah. Um, there are also strategies out there where you do that and you already have people engaging with maybe some sort of a brand awareness campaign that's where you're distributing an ebook or a video about roofing, and then you retarget that with lead gen ads, the people that have engaged with or downloaded that. The thing is, like, setting all that up's a lot of work. So unless you're, again, I mean, it's like you can't just flip it on and expect it to work. But if you have a marketing person or agency that's really willing to put in the work, I think there's a way to potentially make it work. But it's not as simple as just switching it on. And they're very expensive if you don't get it right.
Yes. Yep.
So, and there's also just so many better ways and a lot of times to spend the money, which we can get to. What about Google Ads? What do you think about Google Ads?
I
Or
really like Google LSA, and we loved it when it first came out. We were I would say an early adopter. I wouldn't say at the beginning, but we were definitely an early adopter. And man, at the early adoption of it, we turned everything else off because we were getting leads for like $17 a piece. They were verified leads that they actually met criteria that we put in, and we were getting so damn many of them. I mean, we were crushing. We were getting 15 leads a day, good quality leads every day.
yeah,
Um, it really died last year about this time. I feel like last year about this time, it really kind of was downhill spiral, and we were getting to the point where we were getting like one or two a week. It just wasn't. But we were still only paying like 60 to 80 bucks a lead. They were good leads. We never shut it off. We'll pay 60 to 80 bucks for a good lead every day of the week, as many times as we can get them. That's fantastic. But we went through and did some homework, and I can't give you the full thing right offhand because it was about 2 months ago. But you can go through and really work on updating your profile. Um, and that makes a huge difference for how how often they show you. So what happened was, I believe we went stagnant. Mind you, it's not as good as it was. There's too many people on it, right? There's now it's saturated, so you're not going to see what it was at an early phase.
Yeah.
But now it's saturated, and Google is recognizing, okay, who's the most active on LSA, who's updating their profile on LSA, who's doing the right things, getting the LSA reviews, because not LSA reviews and GMB reviews aren't always the same thing. They have to be linked, certain things have to be done. So it's not exactly pit for pat, right? So once we figured that out and updated everything, we're back to the point where it's not uncommon for us to get, 3 to 5 a day through Google LSA, which is a fantastic lead source, especially when they're guaranteed to be in the realm. Like, the only thing I have turned on is roof replacements. I don't have repairs turned on, gutters, nothing. Roof replacements. So if someone calls in for gutters, we're not paying for that, right? So it has to be a roof replacement lead for us to pay for it. So, yeah, I'll take 3 to 5, 6 a day, and we're back down to paying about I think it's around 50 bucks right now. So,
Yeah.
shoot, there's not a higher intent and quality lead source at that price anywhere that I know of outside of referrals.
Yeah.
So, um, pay per click, all that stuff, I'm not familiar enough to talk about it, so I don't really want to. We rank very well with SEO. I would put money into SEO if you haven't, even in bigger markets. If you're in Atlanta, Columbus, Orlando, and you're new, that's not a place to spend your money. But if you're outside of Atlanta and you're in Athens, Georgia, if you're in, you know, I don't know, Bradenton, Florida, outside of Tampa or whatever, in a nice market, those markets still you can rank. So there's definitely still opportunity to capitalize on SEO and not have to pay for the pay per click long term.
Yeah. What do you think the best strategies are for doing that, for getting that to show up?
Called Dima.
He's been helping you do more than just the reviews?
Oh yeah. So okay, if you're in a fairly small market, you don't have 50-year-old companies, 3 generation with 2,000 reviews. I mean, that's what you see in these bit Houstons and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Crazy hard to beat companies with tons of horsepower, right? If you're outside of that, even if you're in Houston, but you're in League City, 40 minutes outside of Houston, you can rank in League City. So what you got to do though is manage your profile. You got to be very active. So every day, make a post, add a photo, and you don't even have to add 10, just add one. One is enough. One post with good keywords, a photo, get reviews, respond to reviews. That's pretty much all we do. We went into Charleston, West Virginia, which is a much more saturated market. It's the capital of West Virginia. So there are some bigger companies in there. We were ranking like number 6 to 8. And I paid Dima, and we went to number 2 in a month. So, and the one company that's beating us down there has 300 5-star reviews, and they've been in business a long time. So they're going to be tough to beat. I hope we will someday, but get ProLine, use the review generation feature. I mean, we get 3 to 5 5-star reviews a day, across all of our different markets and our GMBs, and each customer is directed to the specific GMB that they should be going to. That way, that market's capitalizing on that review. So,
Yeah.
but you got to respond to them also. That's huge.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. Got to
I my
respond to
my
them.
subscription, I will say this, and this isn't, I know it's not a ProLine show technically, but I will say this. The subscription I pay for ProLine and the reviews that it gets me to make my SEO at the point that it's at is half the cost, actually a third of the cost that I was paying an agency a monthly fee to work SEO with no success. So for a third of the money, just that one feature in ProLine has catapulted our SEO way past what an agency could have done or was doing. Like, there's no doubt I paid him for 2 years. I never ranked at all.
Yeah.
I was with ProLine for 4 months, and with all the reviews we had come pouring in through the review generation thing or feature, uh, we went to number one in almost every market. So it's people think
That's
like
the key.
piece of software costs a lot of money. Well, go pay an agency to do SEO for you. You talk about expensive
Yeah.
and not typically very fruitful. That's expensive.
Yeah. Yeah, that's always been the case with ProLine is you look at any of our main or like headline features, the sales follow-up, the speed to lead, the review generation. And you will find companies out there selling just that as a standalone service for almost the same price as the entirety of ProLine. That's always been the case for us.
Yeah, yeah, it's wild. And then if you take into account, the SEO piece and what that does for your business, that's literally where that's why I said in the first segment there, first question, you asked kind of what we were doing with certain things. I don't spend a ton of money on marketing anymore because we rank so well on SEO that it's either referral or SEO. I mean, when you rank number one or two, people just call you. People go to Google to buy services. They don't go to Facebook to buy services. They go to Google. So that I mean, that's just how I feel about it.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see how as people start to use ChatGPT more for shopping. Like, I mean, there it's sizable. I've noticed myself kind of changing my habits. There's things I still go a lot of things I still go to Google for, but if I was gonna get a roof from my house, I would most likely go to ChatGPT. Hey, like tell me who the most reputable three roofing companies are in my area that I should get to come inspect my home.
I understand though that ChatGPT gets a huge amount of its information from Google.
Yes. Yeah,
So
that's it's just all you're doing is so it's not a replacement for Google. All you're doing is basically just telling ChatGPT, go search Google for me
yeah,
and come
exactly. That's
back.
what you're doing. Yeah, search Google, Bing, and wherever else, and collect the data to bring me.
Yeah.
Guess what? If you're ranking number one on Google, I bet ChatGPT has you in one, if at least in two.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
I haven't
Um,
tested the theory yet, but I would bet on it.
Well, yeah, I think it depends on how the question is posed to ChatGPT and whether, what is it weighting, like your reviews, for example. And so, or how much is it weighting that you're number one on Google? Because if you're number one on Google, but then you have like no reviews, it could, but it's always, that's the thing about ChatGPT is there's no algorithm. It's not an algorithm. It's every single time you ask it, it does it from essentially from scratch. It like comes up with how it thinks is the best way to answer your question. So, that's the super interesting thing. But yeah, it's just pulling from Google, Bing. So
Which
it's not
probably
like,
makes it more valuable to high-ranking SEO people
yeah.
because now ads are not in there.
Yes.
Now we don't have the sponsored guy at the
Ooh,
top.
that's a good point.
So
People are just
think about
bypassing the
that.
ads. So yeah,
Bypassing ad.
yeah, that makes organic even more powerful.
Yes.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yep, absolutely. Cool. Well, for everybody that's just joined us in the last 10 to 15 minutes, we're here to answer your questions about the roofing business. We'll answer anything you guys have. So put that in the chat. You got Scott here, owner of Rainstoppers Roofing, and then myself, CEO and co-founder of ProLine, and we're just here to answer your questions. So we're going through our questions, but if you guys have questions, put it in the chat or Q&A, and we'll answer those instead. All right. On the same track here with marketing, how do you guys at Rain Stoppers leverage local events to engage with the community to build brand awareness?
That's a good one. I would say this. We do one thing really good and we do the other not at all. So events as like parades and home shows, um, those kind of things we don't really do. I almost refuse to do another home show. I did one, and I was at a home show in Parkersburg, West Virginia, middle of nowhere, little town, with 8 roofing companies. I went to, I think it was like 23 appointments. All 23 were getting 8 quotes. I'm not doing it ever again. Like ever again will I go to a home show that unless I know that I've got like some sort of,
Exclusivity there.
there'd have to be like a max of like 3 roofing companies, right? I'm not going with eight or nine other guys.
Right.
So we kind of got away from that, and then the we have talked about getting into some of the parades and stuff in town. We have been talking a little bit more about trying to get involved in that stuff. We haven't done it yet. One thing we do very well, and I got one today. We sponsor everything. So every I got 2 young boys. They're in sports. They're in everything, right? Like they got friends and everything else. I sponsor every single sports team in the area. I sponsor every high school that I can, for the most part. Even the ones that are the rivals of the school in my hometown. We sponsor. Warren High School is the rival of Marietta.
Yeah.
I'm an executive sponsor for their athletic department. So we're on their scoreboard. We're on everything. I'm on the scorer's table in the basketball gym at Merida. So that's, to me, I grew up in sports. I love athletics. I believe that it's a great thing for kids. I think that, I do a lot of the private sports too, like the travel soccer. I don't play soccer, don't like soccer at all, but I know a lot of people in it. I sponsor 4 or 5 different teams in travel soccer. These kids are trying to come up with money to pay for their jerseys and pay for their travel and do these different things, and I'm happy to help with that. And then I get my logo on their shirt, or I get a logo on their bag, or whatever. And then their team's always posting about their sponsors. So it's just real good way to stay active in the community. um I don't know that I can't like actually um, point it to a job that I've sold in particular, but I am certain that it's a great brand building thing is to be involved in any kind of local sponsoring you can do. We do all the golf outings, things like that, right? Like it's all for a good cause, all for good things, and it's kind of co-beneficial.
Yeah. No, I like that. Um, yeah. What about other non-sports? Like, have you done any like sponsoring of local clubs or like maybe local fun like local charities or anything like that? Have you done anything like that?
So a lot of that stuff we do it kind of quietly.
Mm,
Um, we don't necessarily take full advantage of it. Um, so we've in the past we have done some that we've taken advantage of and some we haven't. So we've done like free roof for a veteran. We try to do that at least once a year. We do advertise that a little, but we don't like, I know a lot of guys, and we should. There's nothing wrong with it. You're giving it away. You should get something in return for it to a degree.
yeah.
But we don't do like the cut a promo with our sign out front. We just put it on Facebook. Hey, we're running this. Sign up. We're going to do a free drawing. Whoever we draw, we're putting a roof on your house. Um, and then we kind of leave it at that. But some of the other stuff we've done, we do stuff for like foster families. So 2 years ago, we did a full exterior roof, siding, soffit, fascia, gutter, the whole deal, everything on the house. And all we did was actually we called the county and just said who's kind of leading the charge at taking kids in the area who's really, really helped a lot that could use some help. And they gave us a name, and well, they didn't give us a name. They said, let us call them and see if they're all right talking to you. I said, okay, sounds good. I got in touch with them. I said, look, I don't want to post this anywhere. We'd just like to help you out. We know you're doing good things. We just would like to do a good thing. So,
Yep.
um, you know, my mom was adopted. So to me, that means something to me. Like I've always kind of held that somewhere for some reason. And so the foster family stuff, I always try to help out.
Yep. No, that makes sense. Yeah, I think that stuff adds up. I think that adds up. Even if you're not, telling anyone, they'll still the people that are involved that are involved in that charity or are the ones actually putting that money to use. Or there people know, and
Yeah.
that comes back around. And I
We've
think,
since then we've done like 3 jobs for the Washington County. Like
yeah,
they know we did a great thing for somebody, and so they have us bid everything. They do. We do get beat sometimes on stuff, but we at least get an opportunity at it. But that wasn't the goal. The goal was just to do the right thing and do something good for the community, and
yeah,
uh, you know, do right by others, and good will be done to you, or however that saying goes. But it
yeah,
does work that way.
yeah, yep, yep. And it's like you can eat up money so quick giving it to these giant corporations that are running ads for you so quick
Oh yeah,
and not see anything. And you see sometimes you see things for it, but if it's set up right, but a lot of times you don't. And it's like so there's some balance there, but I think I like that in the marketing context, even if you don't take full advantage of it. It's like that's I think that's important. It's just
yeah,
like give to the community.
yep.
So um all right. If anyone's got any questions for us, we'd love to ask them. We've had a few more people join in, so welcome, guys. This is Roofer2Roofer, so we're just here to answer y'all's questions about the roofing business and the roofing industry. So anything you guys want to ask us, please feel free the chat or the Q&A. Right now, we're just going through and talking about different marketing topics. This next question that I have here is how can we use certifications or professional awards to attract more leads?
Well, I mean, the easy one is if you're certified with one of your manufacturers, you automatically show up on their website as a certified installer. So,
Uh,
and we actually do get leads through the GAF website portal from people looking to hire a GAF contractor. So we get a direct correlation of lead flow from that accolade. Um, but I mean, that's the easy one to put on Facebook, right? That's the easy one to put on a radio ad or on a billboard. And there's opportunity for oh my God, what's the word where they pay for part of it? When you
they
co-brand.
subsidize co-brand.
Yeah, we co-brand with them, and then they give us some, oh my gosh, there's a term, but they give us some money towards that advertising. So that, that's always great. But you have this nice big billboard. We run like, I think it's 9 billboards on a rotation. Um, and they all say GAF Master Elite Contractor. So, those kind of things just make you stand apart a little bit when you're promoting yourself. Like, hey, we have these accolades. So I think you can use that on social media easily, though, right? Like we just installed a GAF Golden Pledge roof, 25-year workmanship, 50-year material warranty on this great house in North Hills, whatever. So yeah, I think using it that way is it's a no-brainer. It's easy.
What about organizations like I guess this is less of an award, but things like EO or like Chamber of Commerce, stuff like that. Is that something
We used to be a part of all that stuff, and I never saw one damn thing from it. So
to the drop?
I just kind of let it dry up. And here's the thing. it's absolutely beneficial if you take advantage of it. So for Chamber of Commerce is a great thing, but you need to go to the networking events. You need to go to the dinners. Like you need to go to that shit. Because guess who's there? Other business owners that can promote your business for you. Like
Uh,
I'm
yeah,
just terrible about going to that stuff.
yeah,
If you don't go, it is not worth being a part of. Like
yeah,
there's maybe one person a year that go in our area that goes to the Chamber of Commerce saying, "Hey, who should I have put my roof on?" You know what I mean? Like nobody does that. So the benefit from being part of it is attending the stuff that they do to network with the other business owners, the other people involved, and building referral relationships out of that. We just weren't good at it. My goal at some point is to hire someone local for marketing that would be in all of the local chambers. And part of their job is to literally go to all the dinners, all the coffee shop deals, all the, all those, the ribbon cuttings, all that stuff, and just network with all the other business owners just to try to build referral business.
yeah. But you'd hire someone to do it. You wouldn't do it yourself as the owner.
Dude, I don't like that shit. I'm just not. It's so terrible of me.
It's time consuming too.
It's so time consuming, and I don't like it. I just don't like going and schmoozing. Like
Yeah,
I don't know why. It's just not my thing. My circle's always been very small,
yeah,
and that's just the way it's always been, and I kind of like it that way. And you know, I don't know. It'd be definitely better if I would go do it. I just am not willing to dedicate the time to it,
yeah. I mean,
and I know it. So
yeah,
that's the thing I got going for me. At least I know that, right?
yeah. Self-awareness. It's important.
Yep.
Um, all right, we have a question here from Terry. He asks, Scott, what are your average conversion rates? There's lots of different types of conversion rate, but I'm assuming he means conversion rate of leads to appointments, maybe.
So, well, we can just answer both. I mean, leads to appointments. Now that we are not running Facebook ads, if it's not through a Facebook ad, or we're running one other kind of strange ad source right now, if it's not for those two, our conversion rate's 80%. It's very high. We very, very rare is it's very rare for us to not convert a lead to an appointment if it's outside of these two lead sources. The two other lead sources, Facebook ads, and the other one that's kind of a strange one, um, they're pretty low. They're 10% at best. So that throws a huge anomaly in because they're also probably our highest lead source, right? Yeah, Facebook, we're getting 20 leads a day from, but only one of them is booking an appointment. So that doesn't really do your conversion rate well. Um, for sales, I mean, I just looked Friday, we went through, and I've got one guy converting at a 45% sales rate. He's closing at like 44%, 45%. My worst sales guy, and I say worst, and he's definitely not our worst sales guy. He's just hasn't gotten the best quality of leads. And there's other factors, but he was at like 28%. That's our lowest sales conversion rate. Most of them are running in the mid 30s, right around mid 30s.
Yeah. All right. Um, Terry said thank you. I think we'll go ahead and just wrap up there. I don't have any other questions without oh, we have one here, we'll answer this one and then we'll wrap up. So Frank asked, if you were down to your last 1,000 for marketing, besides your budget for gas, to go door knocking, where would you spend that money to get the next job? So I guess door knocking aside, how would you spend $1,000 to get the next job?
That's a pretty good question. I would definitely, so I would do what I call our digital door knocking. I know you say not door knocking, but this is paid style advertising. I would definitely be boosting posts on Facebook around the previous job site, or even like market, like say you were in a neighborhood that you could tell the roofs were all, in that 20 to 30-year-old range. They're all getting older. They're all definitely in that time frame they're needing replaced. Throw a boost in that area, right? You can throw 30 or $40 at it, and it goes a pretty long way. Like 30 or $40 will get a lot of impressions. Especially if it's a video. If you do a video with you in it talking, oh my God, you'll get tons of impressions in a cold neighborhood. Um, $1,000 would go a long ass way boosting posts on Facebook. Just hitting little targeted areas. That's probably trying to think if there's another. I would probably also buy. I'd probably split it $500 on that and $500 in yard signs because I think yard signs are as good, if not better, than canvassing. I mean, you just stick yard signs at anywhere that you can stick one in that is getting a lot of slow traffic. They do pretty damn well, surprisingly.
Yeah. Yeah. And, yeah, you'll have some taken down, but a lot of them will not be. And
Yeah. No, there's plenty that will get a call before they get taken down.
yeah. Yeah.
And that's a lot of opportunity. $500, you can buy 100 signs, 100, you can litter an area pretty good with them with 100. I guarantee you get at least one job. If you put out 100-yard signs and put $500 on the boosted post, you should get at least one job.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. I like it. Cool. Frank says, you guys are awesome. Thank you, Frank. Back at you. All right, so we'll wrap it up there. Appreciate everybody for joining in today. Good crowd today. So I really appreciate that. I know it's a little bit of a crazy time for everyone right now. Everyone's pretty busy, so appreciate you joining us. And let me double check. I believe I'm gonna be out next week. Yep. So we'll oh man, and I'm traveling the next week too, but I should be able to make the next one after that. I hope. We'll have to see when we get closer. But so it'll be at least a week till the next one, but we'll see you guys then. So everybody have a good week.